asked them to interview someone. And we did like some mock interviews in class and that kind of thing to practice. But to interview someone of a different generation about their experience growing up female. And so some students interviewed their grandparents, grandmothers or mothers, aunts, and then some interviewed younger folks, like their cousins who are maybe in like junior high or high school now, to ask about the experience of growing up with the internet and texting and just being constantly connected. And I think they learned a lot. And I did. I interviewed my mom, and I think we all just learned things about our family members that we just never knew before.
Overall, I like that we do a memoir project at the end. So she splits the class into 5 or 6 different groups. Everybody reads a different memoir, and then we all present on the memoir. That I find interesting. I like reading the memoirs. For the most part, they're pretty good.
We got to pick which one sounded most interesting to us based on the summary that a teacher gave us. And then mine is When I Was Puerto Rican. It's actually about a young Puerto Rican girl that grew up in the slums, and now she's grown up and she went to New York, and then now she went to Harvard, graduated from there. So yeah, it's really interesting, in-depth perspective, because normally you don't get to hear about those type of things because it's so personal. But
The Last Time I Wore a Dress by Daphne Shalinsky. It's about her being born a female but not feeling right in her body and actually crossing over and becoming a male. And his name is Dylan now.
We're doing a thing where we asked them how they would feel if they were put in a situation where they had to go against something that they believed was part of themselves, and writing it down and then talking about it.
Were topics humorous? I mean, obviously it's growing up female, so we have talked about sex and we have talked about female anatomy, and there are a couple males in the class, so for them I guess that could be awkward, but I feel like she's made it, mildly entertaining, comfortable, yet educational.
Some of the guys in the class have daughters. I know one for sure has a daughter, and he had no idea like what little girls go through and like that whole time in their life, and it's a little awkward, but
I like growing up female. It's very interesting. I'm learning. I have a lot of younger siblings and cousins, so it's helping me understand and help them explain what's going on to them.
when you're young is very important. It definitely develops how you think about things, and it not only affects yourself as an individual, but also the people around you.
And papers on comprehensive sex education and why it's better than abstinence only, because abstinence only teachers are teaching students that not have, like, if you have sex you're going to die, or telling them untruthful things. And I feel that students need to be taught as they are developing. They should be taught about sex education throughout their whole entire lives, even as adults.
I think she is one of my favorite professors. This is my third semester with her.
Yeah.
So I might be a little biased because I've had her for so long, but I absolutely love her as a professor. She, like I said, I think all of her courses, she manages to touch on a lot of different topics, and I think she does it really well. She gives a really good variety of reading material. I also took intro to transgender studies classes with her last semester, and obviously we're a little, I guess you could say, biased in women's studies, and we are all pro everybody, we want pro equality, but she did a really good job on touching on some of the other sides of the argument. And I'm also working on my capstone / independent study with her, and I think she has done a fabulous job. She's been able to help me with it and walk through it with me.
Teacher's great. I love her. She's really nice. But this is my first women's studies class, and I'm a senior. I just now heard about this class from a friend. So, I don't know, this class to me is more in depth about women and growing up as an adult and realizing that what I went through, a lot of other girls my age went through, so it made me feel more secure, if that makes any sense.
Really good. She knows what she's talking about, and she gets all the students really engaged in the class and gets their perspective, and she's learning from us just as we're learning from her.
I enjoy all the lectures for the most part. I think she has a lot of good information, and she has a lot of good sources. I think the readings are really well put together. They're not all from, she has one book that there's only 5 chapters to the book, so she spreads that out throughout the semester, but she takes all of her readings from a wide variety of areas, so I like that. I like that it's not all from one source, and it's a multitude of articles. They're, from as far back as the 60s and 70s, and as recent as, half a year ago. You know, they're really a wide variety of readings.
One thing that I would take from this course is that being a woman has very vast definitions, and it's not just about, you know, the whole nurturing thing and everything like that. It's more so about being strong and being, you know, true to yourself, and you know what I mean. I just think it's something more like that, you know, just being yourself, you know.